to ask about entrepreneurship, but I have watched with very great interest the first wave of entrepreneurship which came in 1991 after the industrial licensing regime was abolished. And that continued for almost 10-12 years. Great times, people coming back from US to set up their businesses here, coming from all over the world. Somehow it started dwindling. Now we should be looking at the second phase. And I have said it publicly that we now to set in place a system which encourages entrepreneurship. As the Prime Minister said, skill development is important, but an entrepreneur employs 10 people and adds wealth to the country. So let us follow that, set up incubation centers which have been announced in the last budget, set up ideation centers which again needs to be set up, technology business incubators like Israel or US have, which can then productize and create new products which are world beaters. And we already have a very large market, but we want world beater products. If I have to ask you, tell me 10 products which came out of India in last 10 years, which became world beaters. You will not be able to name them. Forget it. 5, no. Except Nano, nothing went out. So we need to introspect, we need to unlock the value in Indian Institute of Science and CSIR, which already, as I said, is there on the net of Development Commissioner MSME. There are more than 850 products where the productization is complete, the research is complete, and the IP is with us. Even if 10% of them can become productized and become they are global products, they are world-beating products. Anything else?
So just one final question on the importance of forums such as this. How do they help entrepreneurs, government to come together?
Well, this is the first time I am seeing such a forum. So I hope this forum will be upscaled further, taken to various parts of the country, and then lead to meaningful exchanges. As I said inside, that Indus Entrepreneur Mentoring needs to be scaled up to the global level or to the national level. We have such a large pool of engineers who have retired after their life in corporate sector. They are absolutely first-rate mentors who can then guide our kids. Look, there is something wrong with the system if 16 lakh kids are passing out their BTech, MTech, Polytechnic and MBA and not even 10% are starting their businesses. Something wrong. So let us set that right.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Sir, you presented inside along with the Minister of MSME, and so what is that one top thought that you feel is critical for entrepreneurship in India right now?
So I think the single most important input that entrepreneurs can get is the right kind of mentoring. I think the right kind of mentoring at the right time can really help entrepreneurs change course, go in the right direction, or sometimes completely pivot. And at TIE, we're trying to do that through the Indus Entrepreneurs. They're partners of the conference. And there are many other good organizations, but I think finding the right mentor who can give you that is very important, and getting the right advice and listening to it.
And so, in terms of the importance of a forum such as this, what are your thoughts on this first ever forum that has happened this time?
I've been actually quite happy to see the forum. I think it's been quite selective. The audience is very attentive and a very, very, I think, hungry audience. They're willing to listen, willing to learn. So good luck to the forum. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mukesh Batra, and I'm founder chairman of Dr. Batra's Healthcare Group.
Excellent. Sir, in terms of some of the key ideas that you put forward on the stage about entrepreneurship, what is that one key idea which is above every other thought that you have? If you could kindly give us a crisp bite on that.
Well, I think entrepreneurship is all about risk taking and failure, and I think you've got to learn how to overcome failure, and you've got to have the ability to take risk. And I think it's also about timing and about getting things all in place and developing then operational and HR efficiencies to actually scale up. So really one should be able to build a sustainable and a kind of a growable model, a scalable model.
Excellent, sir. So in terms of forums such as these, how do they help entrepreneurs, investors and government to come together and actually effect some positive change?
But they're very important, and I wish they were there during my time. 40 years ago when I started my practice. I'm very happy that at least young people get an opportunity. I find a lot of them lack focus and they need direction, and therefore I think that opportunities like this helps them to actually network and to meet and to understand ideas from leaders in profession, and I'm sure that it's really very, very helpful.
Right. Sir, in terms of your investment in startups, have you invested in any startups in this space yet? Are you an investor?
No, I'm not.
And sir, are you looking at wellness related tech startups as in this segment is a fast growing one, especially the segment that you are in? So, it's a 20% year-on-year growth. Is that something that you're looking to invest in as part of your company?
No, we're not looking at all.
Okay.
I mean, we just believe that we should put our money where our mouth is,
Right.
and we believe in replowing all our money back into whatever we're doing. And certainly we are getting into more verticals ourselves. But I think we believe in ourselves, and we believe that we should be putting all our money in what we need to grow and what we need to do. And we need to focus on fewer things rather than doing too many things, and then doing them well.
In that vein, sir, are you open to partnering with food companies in the health, food and beverage?
Yes, we are. We are, and we're already doing it in the near future. We are going to get very soon into the food segment, into health foods, and we have partners in that.
Thank you so much for your time. Company, please.
I'm Dinesh Shahara. I'm founder and managing director of Ruchi Soya Industries Limited.
Sir, you presented a lot of ideas on the stage for the ideas that are critical for entrepreneurship. If there was one top thought that you could, summarize for us for our Eating Out Bite, what is that one critical entrepreneurship idea that you feel deserves the most importance?
I think that for an entrepreneur to be successful, self-belief in whatever he wants to do is very important. That will bring passion, and that will lead to success. Challenges are part of life. You'll always face it. But my message to them or advice to them would be, don't give up. And if you are passionate, if you are committed, if you put 100%, success is evident.
Great, sir. So in terms of the importance of forums such as these to bringing entrepreneurs and funders and government together, how critical is this for the entrepreneurship ecosystem right now?
I think it's a very great initiative by Times Group. It is giving a platform for all young entrepreneurs to just have their solution, their whatever the questions they have on one platform. It's a great initiative, I must say that.
Sir, what are some of the product innovations in soya that you're working on right now? There are US startups like Beyond Meat that are looking at plant-based and egg substitutes. Any such product innovation that your company is looking at?
Yeah, we are always we always take initiative for product development. We have this brand Nutrela, which is represents the nutrition, and we have recently brought instant soya. We have a R&D center, and we are always looking for innovation. And we have now recently introduced ready-to-eat food, RTC, and we think that for any company to be successful, product innovation is the must, which we do.
Sir, in terms
Sir,
of
can we record the answer? Because we have launched world's first instant soya.
Yeah.
Can you highlight and can you record this answer?
Sure.
See, we recently launched instant soya, which is the first time in the world this product has been launched. So we are always innovative in terms of product development, and we think that this should be the basic philosophy of any organization for a successful venture.
Right. So there is some concern around the use of phytoestrogen in soya in the US right now. Do you see this as a business risk for consumer perception in India?
No, I think that these are questions raised, but the soybean has been a product in US, China, Brazil. We have a huge soybean business across the world. So these are all questions raised by certain segment which are not relevant.
Are you looking at maybe investing in food technology startups in India? Is that an area of interest?
Yes, now since our brands well established across the country, we are looking at product innovations as we have mentioned, and we will be going for outsourcing for product which can bring nutrition to the every home in the country.
So finally, are you also looking at partnerships, not just investment, with food tech startups, food tech companies that are there out there in the market?
Yes, we have in our business also, we have to get the technology, we have formed joint ventures. We have the joint venture on the food, Kagome, which is #1 Japanese company for tomato products, and Mitsui. We have a joint venture with J Oil and Toyota Tsusho. They are the Japanese largest companies. So we are bringing those products in the country through the technology innovations, and after successful entry, we are going to do inviting people to participate with us for product extension.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Challenges which you see startups facing in India, and what is the role you feel that Microsoft Ventures is playing in this?
Yeah, Microsoft Ventures, is a new startup in a way. We actually work very closely to address some of the challenges that the startups are facing. So one challenge is customer validation. Getting early customers is not very simple. So to bring the machinery of Microsoft to help them make that happen is going to be a huge benefit to them. Second thing is, raising early stage funding. It's not something that happens, very easily, because the formation of capital and capital categories is still forming in India. Some of the early stages are beginning to happen and the VCs are happening, but there's still a huge gap in places where funding is not available. So startups to actually build and scale very fast is happening rather slowly. And also there are other regulatory governmental hurdles that they face in formation of the company, in closing the company if they need to, raising angel investments. All these things are important things that need to be talked about. So we at Microsoft Ventures have taken the position that we will do two things. We will do something specifically for certain set of startups, which is under the umbrella of accelerator programs, our own accelerator programs and accelerator programs that we run along with our partners. Then we are also going to do a lot of thought leadership kind of things. So we do a lot of work with our partners such as iSpirit and NASSCOM to actually address some of these problems that I addressed. I mentioned, which is helping them with customers, helping them with capital, helping them with exits when they want to really complete their journeys. So all these things are very important for us to put together, and I think we amongst a lot of the other corporates are the most active here in actually helping the startups do this.
Anything else you would like to talk about?
So the way we have structured the entire Microsoft Ventures story is to actually be able to provide something of value from the very beginning to the end of the journey. So we have something called the BizSpark program. We also have a hotline for startups to call into, the Jumpstart hotline. So these are all things that we do for the early stage startups. The mid-stage startups have other programs that they can be a part of, which is BizSpark Plus, and then there's the accelerator programs. Basically what Microsoft Ventures is doing, given that there are lots of shifts and a lot of maturity happening in the ecosystem slowly, is that we are moving downstream and we're working with more later stage startups to see how is it that we can help them, get them across to the institutional way of raising funds and growing. So this is a gap that we feel we can fill extremely well, because that's what we do. We help companies scale, we help them get traction, we get them to raise funds, and this is what we are focused on currently going forward. And I think at this juncture, working very closely with ET, we want to get the message out to the ecosystem that we have, a whole slew of offerings of our own and through our partners. But what we specifically focus on now going forward is to work with later stage startups.
You had also mentioned something about customer custodians, the customer validation, sorry. What is the role that you all are playing as far as getting customer validation for these startups?
Yeah, one of the very popular things that people come to Microsoft say is that Microsoft and everybody in the world is Microsoft customer one way or the other, and that's a huge value for customers to startups, because they can come and get their initial ideas validated by talking to customers, to actually going out and getting their initial orders, to actually then creating a very scalable model for themselves through the channels that we have developed at Microsoft. So all these things are very, very valuable for any startup, and we feel that by being part of this conversation, Microsoft also benefits, because we understand from the eyes of the startups, from the eyes of the customers, what new opportunities and new things are opening up, not just for the startups but for us as well.
Would there be a mentorship program also attached to this, just to understand?
Yeah. The accelerator program is all about very, very involved mentorship. There is a close association with the startups. We don't do it with hundreds and thousands of startups. We do it with only about a dozen startups. So for example, last time we had 1,400 applications coming to us from all over India and surrounding countries, and of which we have only taken 12 startups. So that is telling you that we are less than 1%, and we are very selective. But when we do take these people, we really do a lot of mentoring, we are doing a lot of customer validation, we are doing a lot of help with funding, and also a lot of help with technology. And those are the things that we really do in all our accelerator programs.
Thank you for your time.
As I mentioned, entrepreneurship is either in your genes or you need to study it. Now, MSME ministry is responsible for looking after all the issues relating to entrepreneurs. As I mentioned in the conference, 95% of the MSMEs have less than 10 people employed, and there are 35 million MSMEs. They contribute 40% to the manufacturing output and about 40% to the exports of the country. So when you have a very vibrant MSME sector already in the country, what you need to do is to nurture that sector. If it is nurtured, if adequate, there are three things that an MSME requires. He needs a